name. I don't care. Yeah, go ahead.
Mike's hot.
Bang, diggy, bang, de bang, de bang, biggie, biggie.
We chill going live.
Nard is funny.
You said Nard?
No, he's funny. He's like, believers want to quote Hebrew and Greek. He's like, Jesus never quoted Greek or Hebrew. Those are the languages of mere men. I'm like, what did he speak to, man? He was speaking Aramaic, Hebrew, English.
Who did that?
He was speaking English, yeah. Oh, man, he's funny, bro.
Yo, you still doing the intro and all that, or are we just going?
We can go straight in, man.
We'll go straight in. No intro. No
you
intro.
Can put up the little what's that poster, the sign, the signal, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can keep that up. So, man,
the sign, the symbol,
the, end of the, day,
the symbol, the shine.
All
right, and
you gotta go later on.
No,
you good. Okay,
we good. All right, and let's roll.
And we back. EFG podcast. Everything's fair game. We all we got. And starting off, this is Nicholas Sage to my right.
It's the one and only your man Teddy B Love.
And it's Hill, a.k.a. You know, you got to throw the a.k.a. in there.
Every time he say his name is just a period, a bunch of periods after. And it's Hill.
A.k.a. ...
Question mark.
Question mark.
And we got the engineer in the place as well.
Engineer in the
always
place.
Here.
Yeah, he always doing his thing,
Thank
making
you
sure
very
that
much.
everything moves smoothly. So we back after a little bit of a hiatus for all of those.
Man, how you doing there, Sage, man? How you been, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing okay.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I don't know why you telling people my business. Yeah, my birthday was last week.
He ain't put the date.
He ain't put the date. Yeah, my birthday just passed. Thank you for everybody that gave me the happy birthday wishes. It was very much appreciated. I didn't get any from anybody that actually pays attention to EFG, but that's fine. Because I don't think they're paying attention to EFG. But we're going to change that.
No, they paying attention, man.
But yo, how was everybody's holidays? How did the Independence Day thing go? It kind of sucked being on a Tuesday. Going up on a Tuesday.
Well, for me, I was on vacation. My family went to Virginia Beach, and my back went out, man, like a couple of days prior to, and so it was
somebody old, man.
Horrible, man.
My back went out.
I was pulling stuff on the beach, you know, the sand, and it was like some heavy stuff, and so I think I overextended. But I'm good now, so we in the building.
You didn't use your legs.
Signs of a old.
How about you, Teddy B?
It was cool. I worked a couple hours.
You worked on
Yeah.
Independence Day, bro?
Monday, I only worked like 6 hours. I went to work like stupid early in the morning, so everybody was still asleep. Hung out a little bit later, lit some sparklers, threw some poppets. Was going to do the fireworks, man, but the weather looked kind of funky.
Yeah, it did.
And then after a while, the sun started going down. I was a little tired. I'm like, yo, I don't think I'm going to do the fireworks. Because I ain't never been the type to go, downtown, red, white, and boom. That ain't never been me. But I was going to go to, the other cities, they do fireworks, typically on the actual holiday. But I never made it. But, for the most part, it was cool. I chilled. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, lit some sparklers, burnt my finger. So, I'm sitting there like, man, after a while, I was like, man, my lighter just went out like 2 days ago. And I was like, man, just them daggone sparklers, man.
It's par for the course, man. You're going to burn your finger, man.
Lighter.
And no doubt.
Yeah, so, it was cool. It was chill.
So we back. We recharged. We ready to go. So, Teddy B, what is the topic for today?
Well, on today's episode of the Everything's Fair Game podcast, where nothing's off limits and everything is fair game.
It's fair game.
That's my radio voice. But no, today we're gonna talk about false prophets and why people idolize and worship other people.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure that a lot of people out there are like, well, what you mean? Like, think about it. Who's your favorite entertainer? Bet you know everything about him. You don't know that much stuff about the people in your family, but you know everything about them. You can write their Wikipedia page for them.
If you haven't done it already.
I know I could for Michael Jackson, because, you know, he was definitely propped up as a... Yeah, I mean, he's...
Pretty good.
I grew up with Michael Jackson. Like, this is crazy. I grew up with Michael Jackson from the 80s. Mm-hmm. My mom grew up with Michael Jackson as a kid in the 70s, 60s, yeah.
Late 60s, 70s.
I mean, and then my kids, you know, we're in the 2000s, and they kind of, they know the songs.
Right.
Trust me, I ain't even have to tell
them.
So
so we talking about the 3 phases, I'm sure there's more than that, 3 phases of Michael Jackson.
And he came out, what, in 1960?
Something like that.
He passed in 2000. I mean, that's like 40, that's almost 50. Well, he was almost 50.
He was almost 50, yeah.
He came out in mid-60s,
Yeah, mid-60s, yeah.
That's a lot of generations, man, of idol worship.
Yeah.
And various stages, various eras of the changes in Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, he, you know, but it's funny because what I'm basically trying to get to is why, like, I know a lot of people do it, but do you really sit and wonder as to why people worship other people, right? Is it because they got something that you want, so you worship them because they got, you know, 2 Rolls Royces, 2 Bentleys, a $2.5 million house, all the money in the world that you think they have, so that's why you worship the things they have? Or do you worship them as a person? You like how they move, how they operate? Like, I'm trying to figure out why people do it.
Well, let's use the example right now. We're talking about, well, I brought up Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. Why did people clamor to Michael Jackson? What was spectacular about him? As a kid, he sounded like an adult. Yeah. And that drew people. They're like, man, this young kid is sounding like James and moving like James Brown.
And he was singing with like
Jackie Wilson,
with a level of experience in his voice way beyond his years.
Right.
You know, just like, it's like, what girl broke your heart at 6 years old?
They're like, you know, they would say, oh, he has an old soul.
Yeah.
So people clamor to that. Of course, you had young people clamoring to that, and of course, adults and women throwing their, you know, everything at him. So I think some people aspire because they can't do that. Mm-hmm. It looks great to them, so they like, I want that. I want to consume that. I want to see that. I want to enjoy that.
Right.
And then that turns from that to an obsession of, who is he? What is he about? And then, of course, they buy the magazines, and then they buy the books, and then they buy the album covers, and the next thing you know, you got posters all over your wall, things like that. And then you're, you know, and I'm speaking from like as a kid, because I remember like my cousins, right? They would have Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or crazy stuff like that on their wall, or even the Beatles, like real pop, super pop, like idols. You know what I mean? These are idols, and I mean, and you like, well, what's the appeal of that? Like, why are they idolizing these people? You know.
Well, I think it also plays into the aspect of the marketing. Also, you know, when you get nothing but a healthy dose of them showing up on television shows, showing up on award shows, they're winning awards. They had the videos, at least if you go back to the realm of like the TRL live, you know, Total Request Live era, MTV stuff. You got a healthy dose of that, not only on the radio, but on television also. So it keeps them in your mind all the time. And you hear so many glowing remarks about them all the time that it makes it seem like everybody is just totally, you know, like, everybody loves these people. You know, there's people that don't, but you only hear from the people that love these people. So it's all like, man, everybody seems to love these people.
Yeah.
Same thing with Michael Jackson. Everybody seemed to love Michael Jackson. I've never met anybody that said they didn't. And if they did, they were like some like older dude that was like, man, I listen to John Coltrane. I ain't got no time for no Michael Jackson. He stole from Jackie. You know, so it's like, I think for the most part, I had never met anybody from many different generations, you know, even older than I am, that still loved Michael Jackson. It's one of those situations where it's like, he seemed like he had I guess if you say Rotten Tomato score, his Rotten Tomato score was like a 95% or something.
Yeah.
You know.
I think a lot of people that like Michael, as far as like older people, like maybe our parents' age or whatever, it was like the reemergence of James Brown, but he could sing. You get what I'm saying? So he had the moves, but he actually had the voice too. James did a lot of screaming. He was entertaining. He was fun to watch. You know what I mean? He reminded you of like the drunk uncle at the party that had all the moves. You know what I mean? But it was
mashed
like,
potato now.
With Michael, it was like, okay, they idolized him because it was the second coming. And then he kept changing and kept changing and kept evolving. And then he crossed over and all that stuff. So now he had a whole bigger audience. It's almost like I think people wanted something to worship. And it was like he was set right there, like, boom, there you go.
Think about one of the most pivotal points of his career that launched him to the stratosphere, which was Motown 25.
When he got his nose done.
When he
the second time.
No. But
His second time.
Motown 25, he had done, like, people had kind of seen him in shows, kind of tinker with the moonwalk. But when he actually did that live on TV for millions of people to see that, and they're like, oh, this ain't no camera tricks or nothing, man. This is live. I mean, he did Billie Jean. That was it. Like, his Thriller was out of here. He was out of here. Everything was out here. And that whole magic that he created, people wanted more of that magic, man. And then he decided to delve into that life and become that magic.
He did become that magic.
He became the Peter Pan.
He turned to Peter Pan. He did turn to Peter Pan. He wanted to be Peter Pan, and that's who he turned into.
He turned into Su Yin.
The return of Su Yin.
He looked at him. He looked just like what was the lady on Mad TV, Miss Swan.
Miss Swan.
He looked just like Miss Swan.
How you say?
What video was that? Leave Me Alone? No, not Leave Me. Was it Leave Me Alone?
Black and White, man.
No, the one where he had the short bob. Remember,
Yeah.
he looked just like a chick. I was like, he tapped into his inner Prince. Like, Prince has been getting away with this for years, looking like a woman. How can I do it? They were like, Michael, get a bob. He had and the crazy thing is, he had the one bob too. You ever seen?
He did have a bob.
Now this
He had
may
a
seem
bob,
stereotypical,
Oh, when
but
he was
I don't
with
care.
when he was with
Lisa Marie. Right,
Yeah.
but notice,
Oh,
he had
yeah.
with the haircut that she was supposed to have. You ever seen the white women that date the black guys? They typically get that standard cut. That's exactly what he had. So people might think that's a little racist or whatever, but it's funny. Because think about it. Y'all know, you see it, you know what it is when you see that haircut. You like, yeah, she got a brother at the
He was
crib.
born a black baby and died a Korean woman.
Yeah.
I got a dark-skinned friend.
Look like Michael Jackson.
Got a light-skinned friend.
Look like Michael Jackson.
Got an Asian friend who
Look
tailors
like-
Michael Jackson.
Su Yin
Kim Yi. Little Kim
Young
Yi.
Su Yin Jackson. You seen them kids, man. Them kids, you like, bruh, them is not your babies, man.
Oh,
There's no
that
way.
was a given.
I
That
was
was a
like,
given.
man, all them kids look like the Beatles. Like, all them kids, man.
But man, I mean, I remember this is the height of his idolism of becoming an idol. Was he did the History album, and on the album cover
yeah, the
it has
huge
a big huge statue of him.
And
And
it's
that's
a
when I was
militant
like, that's
guard.
when I knew it was out of control for him. I was like, yo, but this is the thing, man. You see all these videos of all these people just passing out like he's God in the flesh.
Jamie
Like,
Foxx say, Miguel! Grown man hitting the floor, passing out.
Miguel.
Get up, sucker. It ain't nobody but little Mike from Indiana.
it's the same way as when people would say they see Prince and they be, they're like so starstruck seeing him, they just kind of like
Don't
lose.
look directly
Yeah,
in
don't
his
look at his eyes.
Well, I mean, it creates a mythos too, right?
Yeah,
It creates a mystique, a certain myth about these different artists and stuff like that. Especially if they do a pretty good job of keeping their private life private. You start hearing people have different have different rumors about stuff, like especially going back to Michael Jackson, the hyperbaric chamber, sleeping in hyperbaric chambers and all that different stuff. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But from what I understand, he was putting a lot of that
out there
to
create that mystique.
that mystique.
Right, that's
you
part
know,
of the engine.
Right. Where Prince, I think Prince was just very private. So it was just, you come up with whatever you can with Prince.
Let's play basketball in the dark. I'm going to drop 50.
Would you guys
Yeah,
like
because
some
he
grapes?
rarely did. He didn't even do interviews.
No.
After a while, he stopped. And then you notice a lot of the interviews after Prince died, he came up with, it was like a whole bunch of like, you were shocked. You're like, man, he was on Tavis Smiley. Like,
Oh, yeah,
certain
yeah, he was
venues
good,
he was
yeah.
on. You like, oh, that makes sense. So a lot of the stuff Prince did, you like, you know what? Now that he's gone, it's like, a lot of that stuff makes sense. Because he was fighting against the establishment, but it was just like, it was weird how he went about doing it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk. I'm going to just write slave
Slave
on
on
my
my
face.
face,
Right.
yeah.
Now he's a guy that a lot of people idolize, but I don't think. And then he created the mystique. Gave the entertainment, but I don't think he was necessarily looking for that. I don't think he necessarily.
From all accounts I heard from anybody that met him
eccentric.
outside of that, he was pretty much a normal guy. He just kind of low key, kind of kept to himself.
Women idolize his shoes.
He was just kind of show up.
6 stilettos Prince had on the other night.
This is the stuff I was hearing. Like he would show up at somebody's show and then just come in there, play the guitar real quick, and
then just disappear.
And disappear.
It just disappear.
That was his whole thing. I'm a superhero. I have
a superhero musician.
Drop the smoke.
He was all about the feel of the music, man. I saw that video where Q-Tip was doing something, and then Prince showed up, and Q-Tip was like, "Come on," and Prince just played this thing, ding, 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 ding. Then next thing you know, it was a poof of purple smoke, and he was gone.
But man, let's go in this direction. What do you think about and this is kind of was a hot topic for a while. Bill Cosby. He was a guy. Now I'm gonna tell you this. As far as if you've ever followed his career, he was a clean comedian, and then he started producing his own shows. And a lot of them was educational based. Like he would draw on young people.
It's time to get your pens and your pencils.
Picture page and all these different things. And then of course years later, then he, the accusations of him having all these affairs with all these women and drugging them and all this stuff and being accused of that. And then him going to court and all that. Now this is like at the end of his life and his career, all this stuff is going on. But, a lot of people idolize Bill Cosby because of the enriching things that he brought forward as far as images that he put out there to try to kind of shape African American images and all that stuff.
They called him America's Dad.
Yeah.
Which is
they created that.
And that's a major.
Idol.
When you think about it, that's a major accomplishment for him. For him to be considered America's Dad for everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
It was that bacon burger dog. That's what got him.
And them pudding pops.
Right. Jello pudding.
Jello pudding. Would you like a little Quaalude with your pudding?
Put the pop in the Quaalude.
You know what I'm saying? Because now people emulate what you do now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, we talking about Cosby. Think about OJ the same way.
Oh yeah.
OJ crossed over, right?
He crossed over, and as soon as he crossed over,
and was the biggest thing. What Jay said in the new album was funny too, because it makes sense. He said, "I'm not black. I'm OJ." Right. You know what I'm saying? And he meant that to the core. Like, I ain't black, man. I'm OJ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he felt like he transcended, because his star did transcend beyond even what he looked like. Nobody cared about that. They're like, yo, man, this dude is amazing. You see him running, man?
Do you see how big this helmet is, man? OJ got a chrome dome, Jack, man. And back in the day, he had a fro with it, too. Goodness gracious. He was probably headbutting everybody. Come here, girl, I like you. Come get some. Cosby, you got some Quaaludes? I got the... If you need it.
Don't need your Quaaludes. OJ is going ahead.
You meant to tell me OJ had a big head, so you saying that Chloe, that might be her dad?
We digress and we going off into some conspiracy
We can't have a podcast without talking about the Kardashians.
I had nothing to do, but we're gonna switch gears real quick and discuss. We're talking about idolizing people. Michael Jordan.
Well, before you move to Michael Jordan, last thing about Bill Cosby. After the whole thing of Bill Cosby and all this stuff coming out, whatever, do you feel like he crushed your world as far as your respect for him, or do you still feel that level of respect? Like for me, nothing changed as far as how I felt about him. I think it just lets me know how much more human he is. Like this dude is
that's actually a good question.
More of a human being and a normal,
That's a good question.
He's a normal guy. Now Teddy B, you've been kind of silent on this, man.
Because when Cosby, I look at it like this: Cliff Huxtable and Bill Cosby, two different niggas. Period. Right?
Okay.
I ain't got no issue with Cliff.
Cliff Huxtable wasn't.
I ain't got no issue with Cliff. Yeah, he was.
He wasn't a nigga.
Yeah, he was.
No, he was a doctor.
He was a doctor.
The way Cliff ate like a brother.
But his wife was keeping him in check, though. But his wife was like, you You don't need, give me that sub. And they was always stealing the sub from him.
Yo, so look, he had high blood pressure.
Yeah, high blood
Cliff
pressure.
was
Right.
nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He was a brother. He
but
wasn't
Bill,
a nigga.
okay.
Bill's a nigga.
See, you disrespecting. You disrespecting Cliff,
Nah,
man.
that's disrespectful, man.
Don't disrespect Cliff,
Listen.
man.
It's disrespectful to Bill Cosby.
We acting like he's a real person. Don't
Listen,
disrespect Cliff,
okay,
man.
you know what? It's another way we know that Cliff was a nigga. Look at all them kids.
Okay.
Cliff had color, Claire had color. He had 2 light-skinned kids.
Okay.
So that means he had some outside kids somewhere that they never
But
talked
look
about.
at his parents though. His parents were lighter. His
So
dad
who's
was
to say that he wasn't an outside kid or was adopted or something like that? See, that's the undertone
Man,
that they
you
didn't
trying
tell
to-
you
you
about
trying to-
on the Cosby
He's
Show.
trying to hip hop, loving hip hop, the Cosby Show. You gonna
Alright,
besmirch
man.
the
Nah,
Cosby
but Cliff
Show.
was cool. Like Bill, I didn't never necessarily. It don't. If it comes out that he did it. That's a personal choice. He gonna have to live with the rest of his life. Because if you look at him, dealing with that throughout the years has finally taken its toll on him.
Yeah, look at his eye.
Look at him. He's done for,
Look at
man.
his eye.
He got a whole bunch of money, but it looked like he ain't enjoying life. He looks so miserable. His wife looked miserable too, to be honest. It's taking a lot out on them.
Well, and plus we can't forget him losing his son Ennis Cosby
Yeah.
and that type of in the situation how that went down too. You
But-
know, all of these different things have. I think he had almost started to kind of take a lot of the young people like in the place of his son, and really trying to mold a lot of the young people like that. So it's one of those things where I'm sure when he's looking at some of these young people that he helped mold, and they're kind of like turning their back on him because they're trying to make sure that they keep their connects,
Their political connects.
connects, okay with them. So.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, man, a lot of people went to college because of Bill Cosby. Man. A lot of people say, man, I want to do something in life because of, not because of, because of Bill Cosby, because of Cliff Huxtable sending his kids.
That's why I said they don't have no issue with Cliff. The people that do have an issue, they got it directly with Bill from North Philly. They ain't got it with Cliff
Bill
that
from
lived in the
North
brownstone. You know.
Right.
So,
But it's so bad that when the Idol fell, they took Cliff off the TV.
But they was banking
for a
on
minute.
him to fall, though. They
Yeah.
was setting him up to fall. It was just like, it was only a matter of time before you knew it was coming.
Well, the sad thing about it is anybody that gave any level of support for him under the accusations and all of that different stuff, they were basically said, "Oh, so you agree with this whole rape culture thing? You're cool with that?" And it's like, no, they're basing it off of. We can only base it off of what we know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when they met him, he never did that. He never did that to any of them.
Or he never showed that.
Or he
lifestyle.
never showed that lifestyle, right? So they don't. You can only go off of what you know of people. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're going to end up coming to down the line. But you can only go off of what you come to. And with him, only thing we've seen is a specific image. Does that mean that there's not more to it? No, there's definitely more to it. But we only can go off of what we know.
Right. Two sides of every story.
So I think at some point we might have to go into what is the making of an idol, because he admitted to his infidelities and stuff in court. So obviously that stardom allowed him to benefit from that, and I'm sure these women must have idolized him to some degree to have these multiple.
I don't know if it's idolization, but we'll get to that.
But we can go into Michael Jordan next. Now let's go, man.
MJ, fade away, perfect. Go ahead,
Michael
Sam.
Jordan, man. Sometimes I dream that he is me.
Oop, idol. They created the idol.
They created
right
the
there
idol.
in that commercial. I didn't realize.
Michael Jordan was created. Now
Like
we're not saying that he didn't have the skill, he didn't have the talent, any of that different stuff. But the thing that is incredible to me is for anybody in my age range, a little bit younger, we view Michael Jordan like the GOAT.
I wanna be like Mike.
He's a GOAT. Like I saw an interview with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson looks at Jordan like the GOAT. Like that's he called him like Black Jesus or something. I was like, what? I've never heard that term used for Michael Jordan. That's what he called him though.
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Because we know Jesus is black. But on the other...
He's the greatest basketball player ever.
Message.
He's the greatest basketball player ever.
He's the greatest basketball player ever.
He's a great player basketball. I mean, that's,
so then,
that's
so
it.
so what I'm getting to is for many people, Michael Jordan is considered the GOAT, right? Mm-hmm. But then things have changed. There's a new kid on the block, LeBron James. We're not even talking Kobe. We're not talking Kobe. No, we're not talking Allen Iverson. We're not talking any of those guys that came in that, Kobe and Allen Iverson in that same draft class. We're not talking Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth. We're not talking these guys. We're talking LeBron. Mm-hmm. So we're talking in the creation of idols. Mm-hmm. LeBron came at the time when the NBA needed a new idol to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kobe screwed himself. Yeah, he screwed that girl in Colorado.
Eagle County, that ruined Kobe. McDonald's dropped him quick. Right. And then Sprite.
And then Grant Hill got hurt.
Yeah,
they were trying to prop him up.
Yep,
he could have been.
He would have probably been a perfect guy.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would have necessarily idolized him because you got to have some kind of dirt on you. He come from money, so I don't think he would have ever got there.
Oh, so you're saying Kobe he would have had to have that back?
Yeah,
I
think he would have had some kind of background like LeBron, single parent household kind of thing. Jordan didn't become Jordan until Magic got AIDS and his dad got killed. That's when Jordan became. Think about it. It was the build up. Listen, it was the build up to it. But Mike didn't become Mike. He won that first title.
No, his dad was still alive when he became Air Jordan.
Right. But what I'm saying, like to blow all the way up, Mike didn't become Mike until he won his first title against Magic, right?
Yeah.
And then Magic got AIDS that next year, and Magic was done.
Now, first of all, we know Magic had AIDS before then, but. I'm just being. I'm being stupid.
They were turning up, man. Whoa!
What
These views and opinions are only opinions.
Whoa!
This is all facts.
It is facts,
that's
man.
Out there. That's
out there. Yeah, well. But yeah, okay. So you're saying after Magic Johnson stepped forward and said, "I have HIV," and then they were like, "So why not? Why didn't Isaiah Thomas get that? Why didn't he get that burn?"
Because he wasn't. Isaiah stayed on the ground. Like you needed something that was above everybody else. Air Jordan, he's over everybody else because I can fly. You want to fly? Be like Mike, right?
That's true.
You want to do this and that third? Be like Mike.
And so
I'm saying, what I was getting to basically was that they had a little dirt behind them.
Okay.
Which is what made it to where you feel bad for them. To where we can build them up even more. The authenticity behind it. Like Kobe come for money. You was in, how many different languages.
So if he falls, you're not going to feel as...
Right, because you don't feel bad for him. You're like, dude, you just going to fall back on what your parents
somebody like LeBron fall, you be like, well, he came from
He came from nothing. Yeah. You feel bad.
I believe you're speaking from a black community situation.
Well, they got to be stars with us first. Before they cross over,
no, but they can't become bigger stars until white folks sign off.
Right, but what I'm saying is it starts with us. Once they bubble with us, then the crossover.
So you're saying with the black community, the person has to have some level of adversity that they came up with for the black community as a whole to back them.
No, what I'm
along
saying,
with their talent.
Okay, I get what you're saying. No, the adversity is what helps them cross over.
Oh, so you're saying
the build up starts with us. We cool with it because it's a relatable with us.
Okay,
but when the time for them to cross over, it's almost like people in mainstream media love a good story. I gotta have a story to tell about you as to why we putting you so high on the pedestal. So you gotta have a story.
Like Steph Curry, he was like, people know that even though we know he came from money and stuff, but we know that he was kind of like the little engine that could. A lot of people didn't think he was going to exceed expectations that he did.
Which they use it in the commercials. Yeah. Oh, you're too small.
They sell that.
Yeah,
right.
They sell
because
it,
they have to have mainstream media has to have a
narrative
story to tell.
Right.
You have to go through something, even if it's small. You get what I'm saying? That's why they wouldn't have rocked with Kobe or Grant Hill. Liked them both as players, but it was almost like y'all come from good. Somewhat good genes and structure.
So doesn't that seem like there's a problem then? Because not every single person comes from those type of backgrounds. Like, and not every single person has a certain level of adversity they have to go through. So you're basically telling me that if you came from a pretty good background and you've never really had any type of adversity, that you're just not going to be considered a star.
Not that you're not going to be a star, but I don't think
you're not going to be a
the
superstar.
upper echelon idol type star.
So So this is why I said earlier, we need to talk about this. What is the making of an idol? How do you create?
You got to basically come from. You got to have some sort of struggle in the beginning for them to build up something, right? Now, granted, Michael and them, it was how many of them in the house? That right there is a story to tell because your parents got so many mouths to feed. So you already know, unless they had a whole lot of money, you was getting hand-me-down clothes, hand-me-down shoes. I need some type of story for you to be built up.
But on top of that, exceptional talent.
You have to know
or accepted by the masses.
No, and I'm following what you're saying. I think I'm more incredulous or kind of thrown off in the aspect that I'm really thinking about it. And I'm like, a lot of these different people that are superstars, that is their story, and I'm like, I never
Madonna, who's super huge and billionaire. I mean, she's probably close to $1 billion now, but she came from the dirty alleyways of New York. You know what I mean?
No, actually, she's from Michigan.
Oh well, Michigan, and then she went to New York and became in the Village.
Yeah,
and
she's because she went to University of Michigan for a little bit.
Because I even look at it like this: like, okay, typically the biggest consumer in America is the African American, whether it's male, female, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So if I identify with your struggle because I'm going through the same struggle, when you get that big, I'm still going to support you because I know where you come from. One of us made it out. We don't want you to come back. We want you to come back, get back to the community, but don't come all the way back. Like, don't fall from glory and then now you living 2 doors down from me again, because then I'm be like, you had it.
So part of people idolizing people then is
they
have to find their identity.
They have to find some type of relatability too.
Relatability first, and then they want to identify with what that person does, even though they can't do it themselves.
Some type of relatability. You have to have something.
Because I wanted to be Michael Jackson as a kid. I mean, I got the Jerry curl. It didn't quite curl right.
I wasn't going that route.
Dad was out. I was like, Mom, I just want all black clothes. My mom bought me like 2 black outfits, and I was like, I want to wear these every day. My mom was like, no. But I was watching Bad every single day. I was trying to dance like Michael Jackson.
Your brother, your sister. Ask me.
That was probably the worst time to want to be like. I should have wanted to be like Michael Jackson. Thriller.
Yeah. But you,
Off the Wall.
Yeah, you chose
I wanted
Bad.
To be Bad.
You wanted to be Bad.
I love the album, but still.
Bad, that was a
but Bad, it's that song, and you can't listen to that today. It's so dated.
Yeah, but I just me personally, like, when you see people that idolize other people, they gotta have some sort of relatability. I don't care what color you are, right? Think about all these like documentaries you'll see like on Netflix, even like the low budget ones or whatever, and they tell like stories of different people, even if it's over in like India or something. They like, we grew up and all we ate was rice every day, and I didn't have shoes, and I had to walk 3 miles to school, and it's got to be some type of story behind the person.
So basically it goes back to the mythos of a hero, which is basically a certain level of trials and adversities that you had to overcome to eventually become something great.
Right.
Yeah, because, Michael Jordan...
Pressure makes a diamond.
His college, he hit the big shot in his college?
Yeah, as a freshman he hit that shot.
In the corner.
Yeah.
So that kind of...
And he was kind of...
Yeah, he wasn't
not as known at that point because there was still James Worthy and Sam Perkins in him.
But think about Jordan's story. I got cut from my high school back. Now I'm the greatest player of all time, NBA history, so they say. But I got cut in high school playing ball.
Right.
Typically, most people, if you good, you've been good. You don't get cut. You get everything handed to you, silver spoon type of stuff. No, Jordan got cut. I grew 6 inches. I had to work on my game. I actually had to work to get, my senior year. I turned out. Then I got into college. He still got a story. Even when his story is building, it's still a story.
So LeBron's story is, I was from a single parent home. It was tough and
in a tough neighborhood, and I made it out.
To this day, he continues to hang on to that, and he says, like, when he's like, man, I'm not even supposed to be here. He always says that, like, I'm not supposed to be here, man. Like,
because he's one of them dudes that looked and was like, You know what I'm saying? Because for a minute they were saying, what's the dude's name? Lenny Cook. They was like, Lenny Cook was better than LeBron.
Yeah.
But LeBron took the opportunity and made it happen.
His focus
Lenny
was much
did.
more. Yeah,
Right.
his focus was on
strictly playing ball and getting out the hood.
And
LeBron
he had people around him that believed in him beyond his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were able to see the future for him and give him the view.
He was
see
coachable.
Yeah, Lenny Cook. Lenny Cook
Yeah.
was at the time. Slander.
Yeah.
But so then in this case, it's the same. It's the same story for Kevin Durant then, right?
If he has a story. Yeah.
Right.
You gotta have a story.
He's from the DC area. I'm actually trying to find
one that doesn't.
I'm trying
have
to find
that
one
issue.
that doesn't follow that.
Right. Not saying that they can't be a star, but you talking about exceeds and excels everybody else. They're at the upper echelon.
But even if you
floor.
don't have that story, your talent could far exceed other people's. Like Durant, even if the struggle, you might not, because I don't know, I don't look at him and think about his struggle when I think about him being a star, but I just think like he's exceptional. Like he's exceptionally built. He's exceptional in his play, and that to me, that's what makes him a star. Like he's doing things that most.
But it wasn't all. Well, what I'm trying to say is it wasn't always like that though.
Yeah.
Like superstardom. That's not Larry Bird. That's not Larry Bird's story.
Right, but Larry Bird wasn't a superstar. Larry Bird was a star.
Larry Bird wasn't a superstar?
Not to the level where Mike is at.
He's one.
Well, the NBA wasn't to the level where it was when Mike became a superstar.
So they was just waiting for that story to boost it up some more. Larry only got them, but so far Larry had them with the working class man appreciated Larry, but not like I said. We talking about
a superstar,
right? We okay. I'm looking at it like this.
He was a superstar.
I'm more or less talking about the mainstream consumer, which is the young black male and female. They buy into it. People bought into Bird, but they kind of dislike Bird too, right? Because they felt like Bird was a star in an NBA that was changing over from being white and black to more black. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, Bird was a superstar, but eventually you was going to see the stars start falling. You see what I'm saying? Because now Jordan had an invincibility about him. Mike can fly. Now we all know he could, but Jordan was in the air long enough. Bird, strictly on the ground, right? He could play. He worked hard. So he reminds you of somebody that you saw that went to work every day and worked hard. That's cool. But Mike was something else. Mike had wings that you didn't see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mike could jump in the air.
So we're speaking. So you're speaking to the talent. You're speaking to the talent. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to go on record and say that Larry Bird was as exceptional to me as Jordan was, because that dude could not really run fast, but he'd
be the first to tell you that he was the gangly, slow white guy, but he
did some.
He was cold blooded though.
Yeah.
In a league where you had, I mean, goodness, Isaiah, you got,
But that's why the brothers related to him though, and I might be contradicting myself, but because of the hard work.
But he didn't come from like really great.
No,
right,
no,
but that's why that's why they can attest to it.
It's humble beginnings, but at the same time, I'm sitting up here trying to think of, is there anybody that doesn't follow that? Because a lot of these different stars, that's what it follows, and I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, maybe that's just the whole thing of your heroes all the time. It's the whole thing of, man, they got cut from the team just like I got cut from the team.
So
man, they
so all this is to speak to. We're just talking about how do you relate to somebody who you eventually idolize.
That's just like young cats in the hood that look up to the drug dealers.
Well, that's what I was. Right. That's a good segue, because then I was going to go to Jay-Z.
Okay.
And Jay-Z is idolized by many. And a lot of people, I understand if they came from his Marcy projects and they saw him when he was, hustling and stuff and where he is now, I can understand that. But on a wider level, he's considered the great, right?
Right, as far as
the
rap,
GOAT,
rap,
as far as rap and everything. And so, I mean, that follows right into the whole relatability thing. And maybe that's why I was never a big fan of his, because I couldn't relate to him. I couldn't relate to the whole hustling, drug dealing stuff.
Yeah.
What's funny, I remember back when they had what was that show on MTV Cribs. And I remember they would go into all these different rappers and entertainers' houses, and the one common thing that I've seen in all of them, and this is making me think about Jay-Z, is all of them had a picture of Tony Montana.
Yeah, they had a Scarface.
They always had a Scarface picture.
Yeah.
And when I think about Jay-Z, I think about, and he talked about being at one point being influenced by that movie and stuff like that. Even American Gangster, he did the whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just influenced by that whole hustle mentality. And so I think him taking that and bottling it up and telling his story over and over, and that's all he do. He regurgitates his story over and over again about being a hustler, and and of course in our culture of America, that's what America's about. It's about hustling, trying to come up, trying to make it. Everybody's trying to make it. Everybody's trying to become big, or make it, or have money, or be rich and be wealthy and be secure. He sells those ideas, and so I think, but I think that Scarface, well, in the '80s, was a major influence on a lot of people who, especially during the whole Reagan era, drug era,
they didn't have
thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go all out like Tony, and I'm gonna hustle. I don't care. I'm gonna go out blasting if I got to. Go out in the blaze if I... Okay, Tupac.
Well, hold on to my little friend.
Otherwise, you ain't. You trying to tell me I ain't? I tell your mama you ain't.
But that's why I think that's why he got so big, because he was relatable to people. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of New York in some projects in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I did sell dope. I did what I had to do. Started my record label. Like, you saw the story building up.
But this is the question. This goes back to, we were talking about in the level of talent, having extraordinary talent. Does Jay-Z have extraordinary talent?
He has extraordinary talents. I think that's what changes it. Like when you were like, you can't relate to him as far as on the drug dealing aspect.
And I'm not saying dude couldn't rhyme. There's many a Jay-Z song that I actually like. But the whole thing about it is, did he have... I mean, I know people quote him. I know many people have taken his style. That dude Angelus comes to mind. There's many different people that, but is it, in his case, is it that it was extraordinary ability, or was there some more smoke and mirrors to this?
I won't say this. Well, you gotta think.
When I say smoke and mirrors, I'm not.
Well, when you start talking about the whole Jay-Z phenomena, you got to think about he was being connected with Notorious B.I.G. and the whole Bad Boy movement at the time. Because, like, his second album was executive produced by Puffy, right? And this is, like, right after Biggie died. So they began to create the whole Jay-Z, we're going to build him up to be the next big thing.
So they passed the mantle to him.
Yes.
So then if we go back, not to just like flip flat back and forth, but so in that same vein, the mantle was passed to LeBron. The NBA passed the mantle to LeBron.
Yeah, and I guess similar. Yeah, and that's probably why they got along. That's probably why the two of them had connected, because they were friends, or they're friends. Or
yeah,
like
but one thing I do think that's similar to both of them too, that separates them from the ones that they have passed, the way they think. I think Jordan gave everybody the blueprint. You follow the Jordan blueprint, you're fine as far as making money as an athlete while still playing. You want to make money after that, you need to go holler at Magic. As far as NBA, because he's going to tell you the investments. Now, if you can do somewhat of both, which what I think LeBron's doing, as far as with his investments doing different stuff, I think he's doing a little bit of Magic and a little bit of Michael. You know what I mean? Let me get the Sprite money, let me get the Gatorade money, let me get the Nike money, like Mike. But let me go invest my money over here and do this and that. Does that
like
Magic.
Does that lead you to idolize? Well, not you personally, but does that lead people to idolize?
I think people do, because now they're seeing a pattern. It's like, okay, if I'm going to idolize... The people who want you to idolize them, they want you to idolize something that's similar, right? Okay, check this out. You watch the news every once in a while, right? You ever notice when they replace somebody on the news, their replacement has to look somewhat like them?
Yeah,
right? If it's a black woman with short hair, the next woman has to be African American with short hair, because you don't want to change it up on people too much, because then they won't like it. Mm-hmm. You want them still to like what you're doing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You want that to still go. So I think with the whole Jay-Z and LeBron type of thing, Jay-Z wasn't Biggie, but the background was similar. We both ex-drug dealers from Brooklyn. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You're this guy, I'm that guy. You run with this group of people, I run with that group of people. But then I think what was going to separate them, even if Biggie had not died, I think just Jay's way of thinking, more or less forward thinking, whether it's his team around him or whoever he's got around him. It was his team.
I'm go
because
ahead.
He's got.
I'm gonna bring up something that really helped him.
To me, I think he has a smarter team around him than Biggie had. Biggie had goons around him, but I think Jay had smart, strategic goons around him. Dudes that you won't see him and be like, man, he's a killer. Mentally, he's a killer. You get what I'm saying? But you see Biggie's dudes and you like, nah, they coming. I know he got the strap on him. Like, to me, that's what separated them two, why Jay was eventually going, I think, surpass a lot of what they were doing anyway.
Well, we got to go back to what Rockefeller was. Rockefeller, Jay-Z, and Dame Dash created and were selling a lifestyle, whether they had it or not yet. Like, they eventually ended up having what they were selling, which was, they was like, man, we ain't sipping nothing. We sipping nothing but Cristal. And then they go buy, like, this is when Rockefeller first started. They would go from club to club, buying out bars of Cristal and giving it to everybody.
When Moet was the thing to drink.
Yeah. And so they were doing this and creating this whole party, this whole laugh of luxury. They whole first couple videos. They had one video where they were like on the islands in a boat. Of course, they didn't own a boat or nothing like that, but they were selling that lifestyle,
that image.
That at the time, a lot of people wasn't even into that in rap and hip hop, looking at that. But eventually, it caught on, and so then that led to Jay-Z they continued to sell that. So like you see the Rockefeller emblem, it's a bottle, it's a champagne bottle. Like, that's what they were selling, that's what they were marketing, and so Jay-Z continued to do that and spun that into a whole career, which now was then, with him being forward thinking of doing that, he became like the tastemaker for a number of people, or he would catch on to a trend.
Yeah, he was more or less.
He would sell stuff, so he'd be like, "Yo, I'm not wearing no throwbacks anymore. I'm wearing button-ups." Now all of a sudden, people start wearing button-ups. People started idolizing that because they're like, he looks like he's the picture of what cool is.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. It's the personification of cool.
But honestly, I think it's funny what they were doing then, as far as like with the Cristal. Remember, he was wearing the iceberg, and he stopped wearing the iceberg because they wouldn't give him the deal. So I'm gonna start my own company, do Rockefeller, all that kind of stuff. It was like there were artists before him that you thought, had they thought or had a team that thought like that they would have been able to surpass him on that level. I think that's what was separating him from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That whole fake it till you make it, but you got to do what you got to do. Their thinking was, everybody's in this lane, let me go this lane. Because everybody, you remember growing up watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Right.
Somebody in your clique is going, bruh, you need to watch this show. This where the money at. Right. Not on 125th Street, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the ghetto with the dude with the Volvos, with the VBS's and the nice gold jewelry and all that. Let everybody else have that, bruh. We going over here where this boat is at, with this yacht, where this long money is at, where they don't, you know what I'm saying, they smoking real cigars, not Phillies from the corner store. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of that helped them. They were already trying to cross over before it was time to cross over. So once it became time to, it was easy. It was an easier pill for the people, the powers that be, to swallow.
So, and we've been discussing. So the first part of this is relatability, right? And why people worship other people and stuff like that. But the one thing that I have found very concerning is the aspect of you taking whatever these different people that you idolize, you take everything that they say as gospel.
As the gold standard. Yeah.
Right. Everything. Just like you said, Jay-Z was like, we sipping Cristal. Eventually, he was talking about Ace of Spades. He's like, that's what we sipping.
And then on a new album, because and I listened to the whole album, he's promoting this whole thing of black empowerment to a certain degree, which he's not too far from what he's already kind of been doing. But he's like, he's telling everybody, man, forget all those other liquors. Only thing I'm drinking right now is Ciroc by Diddy. And that's what he says in one of his songs. Like, that's all I'm drinking. I ain't drinking, no. Basically trying to, promote him, instead of promoting all the other outside stuff that had nothing to do with, quote unquote, us.
And I mean, that's cool. Promote your people. If them is your people, promote them. But no, I get what you're saying. It's almost like even if he has a bad trend, it's going to take so long for people to figure out that it's a bad trend that it may turn out to end up being a profitable trend. Like, you might be doing something that's really stupid. Yeah. But then if you get enough people that think or do whatever you say, whatever that is, they going to run with it. So now it was a whole bunch of dudes looking in their closet like, man, I got 15 throwback jerseys at $300 a piece.
Yeah. Now Jay-Z said I should get a button up. So
but then this is funny too. I seen the meme where Jay-Z talking about, you know what I'm saying, don't waste your money on this, that, and the third. Invest your money, right? But then his tickets is like $200 a pop. So you want me to still go to your show, or you want me to invest my $200 in something else? So it was like a contradiction. I thought that was kind of funny, but I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, people have to think for themselves. People that over idolize, I think, other people have a hard time thinking for themselves. They're just waiting for the next idol to tell them what to do. It's almost like robots.
So basically, why do people want their idols to tell them what to do? Is it just because they see what they deem as success, and they say, I want that same level of success, so I'm gonna blindly do what this person says?
I want that success, or I want to feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm putting the curl activating my hair. I'm trying to dance like I want to feel like how he is. I want to be like him. I want to feel like that. That magic that I see, I was trying to be that. I was trying to feel that. Yeah. So, rather you get, because you're not going to ever get there. I mean, I could never be Michael Jackson, of course. But I'm trying to obtain. So, like Jay-Z, people thinking, they're like, man, this guy's almost $1 billion. He has the hottest girl. And I want that. I want to be like that. Or they're doing something right. See, they don't know all the losses these guys taking. Which is what I was about to say.
This is the thing in that you said that he has the hottest girl.
Right. He
even said he had the hottest girl in the game rocking his chain, right?
Right.
So then of recent time, he says that he's been a little bit of infidelity in there.
A lot of infidelity based off of this album. Okay. He's been doing it for a while.
So then
that didn't shock me, though.
No, I'm not shocked, but I'm saying there are many different people that are like, I can't believe you did that to Beyonce. Who's Beyonce? Well, she's yet another idol that people worship and follow and everything like that.
But women get cheated on every day.
So basically, I'm breaking it down to we give them this power, right? Mm-hmm. We're the ones, if we decided tomorrow that we don't like Jay-Z anymore, he's nobody, right? So why do we continue to keep giving these people that power?
I think part of it is this whole the whole narrative. Like the fact
but his narrative has changed. He's not that same dude. Like he can't in all honesty, can he keep going back to the well and saying I was hustling and this and that?
He continues to do that.
I know he continues to. And people are cool with it because
and even on his album, he continues to do that.
But I'm like, aren't you tired of that narrative? I mean, he switched the narrative from what I've heard with the album, but I'm like, how many different times LeBron is gonna keep talking about the single parent household, different stuff like that? You beyond that now, right?
I would imagine you would. See, that's the thing about this new album. Half of it, part of it is him being honest about things that were going on in his life. But he still talks a little bit about that, and he's still bragging about his artwork, which I can't relate to because I don't collect artwork. But it's just the whole thing of he's just. People are hanging on to the words because of the entertainment value. Like the fact that she had came out with her last album, Lemonade, which is supposed to be her airing out things going on in their relationship. Right. Then he comes out with the album that's telling and apologizing to her. Mm-hmm. To me, and she's on the album too, by the way. To me, it's almost like he wasn't on hers though, right? I don't know. I didn't listen to it. I never listened to it. But to me, it's just like they're selling these ideas to people. Now, if he's being honest, like, yeah, this is what happened, and yeah, you know, I did do these things to her. Never once did he turn around and say, but you know what? But I love her though, or you never hear that. You never hear any of that. You know, stuff that's real. Stuff that's real.
You still gotta keep that hustle.
Yeah,
you know?
stuff that's real. He even jokes about like a song, on another song where he talks about like, yeah, I'm in the car with your girl. After he just apologized to his girl. You know, a real apology. So,
well, he got to give somebody something to listen to that's still relatable. He's still trying to relate to the people that got him where he's going.
So that's why I was listening to the album. Then I was like, man, I'm done with this dude, because I realized like it's a lot of, first of all, it's a lot of conflicts of things he's saying and mixed messages.
Contradictions.
And I don't, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be buying into that. But then I realized a lot of other people buy into that, they think. Even though he's showing the level of, yeah, man, you know, even the hottest girl, man, I couldn't be faithful to her. But you know what? Hey, yo, as long as you got credit, you can be rich.
People want to know that they can have
stuff.
more.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
So they don't necessarily always, I don't think they always believe everything they hear, but some people take it as gospel. Those are the people that keep them at the top of the thing. Those are the ones that are the fanatics, right? Like they got the Beehive and all them people, right? Because I mean, think about it like this: him and Kanye was supposedly be cool, right? But they got cool through music, right? But now I got beef with you for whatever reason. Maybe you and your woman don't like how me and my woman move, so now we got a beef or whatever, what have you, right? So now everybody like, oh, Jay don't like Kanye. Oh, I ain't fooling with Kanye either. But then you got some people that are like, I'm going to roll with Kanye regardless, whether he's right, whether he's wrong, whatever. So everybody has that fan base that builds them up to a certain status to where they sit at idol status. Now, once that fan base starts moving and leaving, that's when they slowly come back down to reality.
So we're going to swing this around real quick. Everybody that we've mentioned so far has extraordinary talents. Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby had extraordinary talent. Yeah. Has Michael Jackson had Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Jay-Z. Yeah. So what is it that Kim Kardashian has?
Well, hoes gotta idolize hoes, right?
Oh God!
There's that many hoes to keep her afloat.
Yes. It's a lot of undercover hoes out here.
That is
the hoes is what's keeping her alive.
That's some scary stuff.
They like, man, I can be a hoe and make it to this stature.
What type of talent does she have?
She doesn't. But that's the thing. People that think like
what is her story?
People one person that came out publicly and asked that, I was amazed because she, first of all, she didn't even know who she was, and then she asked like. She was asking people, what did she do? And
yeah, was that Lucy Liu? Lucy Liu was like, she did have...
I wonder how the dad feels about them, because none of them have any talent. He's probably like, y'all destroyed my name. Your stepdad is a woman. Your mom act like a dude. All y'all are crazy.
You talking about Robert Kardashian?
The dad. I know he's going crazy.
He's dead.
I said he's spinning over in his grave.
Oh, I didn't get
No. You think he's spinning, or you think he already knew all these things were going to happen?
No, he knew because of who he had them with.
His wife, yeah.
Well, two of them.
Your stepdaddy wants to be a girl. Y'all want to be on TV and fake movies, and you chunky and dealing with this crazy girl. Like, oh,
I'm just trying to figure out what the infatuation is. Like, and
notice she's falling though.
Yeah, she's falling, but I like at the point when she was at her highest peak, I was like,
peak of what?
Of popularity.
Of hoeing.
Of what? Doing what?
That's what I'm saying.
She was hoeing.
What did she do?
She was hoeing. Think about it, man. She had Reggie Bush. Yeah, she had Ray J. She ain't even have A-listers though. She was hoeing on like a C+, B- level.
Socialite.
Yeah, but then they go socialite. Like, okay, think about it. You know who we haven't mentioned? Paris Hilton, because nobody cares because she finally trickled down. You know what's keeping Kim even there in the conversation?
Kanye West.
Kanye!
Right.
And she's pulling him down.
Right, exactly.
She's pulling him down.
Now let Kanye decide to leave Kim. She's going to slowly drop. And then all of a sudden, she's going to go back to what she know. Hoeing. Like, yo, keep
Bet
it real,
you
man.
had the
That's what
whole life
I don't
magic
know.
rabbits just to make ends meet.
That's what she's known for. She's known for hoeing. That's it, man. Think about it. Ain't none of them. The sisters, you don't hear about the sisters or nothing.
But
and they got a little hoe in them too. But
yeah.
Kim was like, I'm gonna take my wholeness.
But it's it's spread. It's spread. I mean, Amber Rose. What does she do? What is she doing?
She a bald head hoe. Like, I'm just saying. Now, did y'all catch the Instagram? You know, she had the whole bottom half that was out. And I
didn't catch it.
I'm like, okay, you know, you do that, but because your star starts falling, you got to throw something else. Shock value for people. So, right, you get 15 minutes of fame. You want to extend it another 15 minutes. Being a hoe for a hot second may get you another 5. You get what I'm saying? Because they have no real talent. Because think about it. Women are everywhere. Beautiful women that ain't got to be hoes, that's fully covered. They just ain't going to be on that superstar level. People like controversy and men like hoes. So, since they being hoes, that's why they where they at. But slowly they going to keep falling down.
So you're telling me their talent is being a hoe?
Yes. And
but
there are hoes in the hood. There are hoes in different neighborhoods that can relate.
But that's been the profession since the world was first.
Right. But now it's accepted to be a hoe.
No matter where.
Think about it. Back in the day,
and that was
right,
where I was trying.
Being a hoe back in the day was not accepted.
And that's
now
where I was
being
going.
A hoe is accepted.
And that's why I was
Girl,
asking
you
the
a
question.
hoe? That's okay. You look good when you're being a hoe, though, right?
It's the exception.
Exactly.
I said exception. It's the
It's
acceptance.
The rule. Right. Because a lot of people back in the day, certain stuff wasn't accepted. Everything is fair game. Everything now. The gloves are off.
Yeah, everything is fair game.
You a pimp? You better be the best pimp. You a drug. They idolize Jay-Z, and Jay-Z.
What's funny though is he said everything
dealer.
is fair game now. There was a time where everything was fair game prior to this. Mm-hmm. You know, everything is fair game now for the United States. Mm-hmm. But there were places where everything was fair game. We can go back to ancient Rome and Greece and all that stuff. Right. Everything was fair game then. So yeah,
but hoeing is popular. So
yeah, you can't shame them anymore.
There's a lane for right. If you being a hoe and there's a lane to be a hoe, you might as well be the best hoe you can be.
I guess so. People are profiting from idolizing people. I mean, people idolize these people. Those people benefit from it.
The people that catch on to will benefit. Yes.
Yeah. And so, as a result of this, we have, I mean, there's got to be a backlash to all of this idolization. It's people lose their own. People don't have their own identity as a person. They don't know who they are.
Right.
They don't have,
no individuality. Nothing sets them apart. Nothing makes them different because they're trying to do what everybody else is doing until the next trend comes, and then they do that, and then they do that, and then they look up and it's 30 years later and they have no idea who they are.
Well, I think it's also kind of that it still kind of plays off of the internet boom type of situation. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like at one point the websites, the internet was booming, and then of course social media had its boom, and these college kids that were just coming up with something start to make millions, billions of dollars, and then you have people now making money just off of making funny vines. Went from vines to the different video. So I understand it's basically at the root of this, it's money.
Mm-hmm. So idols and money, it go hand in hand, because all of these different people that are idolized have what? Money.
Or seem like they have.
Right. The illusion
they
is
have
that
the illusion that they have
more
money
than a lot of times what they have, because what they don't tell you is these cars be rented, this jewelry be rented, right. These clothes be rented,
this house is rented,
everything is rented. It's leased with an option to buy.
I rented this from Rick Ross to let me film this video for the weekend,
and then I'm out of here.
I'm
but
back,
y'all don't know that because now
y'all house.
Now y'all involved with me, and now my stock.
I still live with my mom.
So once I actually get the money that I've been talking about, you'll be able to tell a difference.
Yeah. That's my Thurston Howe the third shout out. I still live with my moms. But yeah.
It was all a dream. I used to read
Hit Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D. I've been in a limousine. So is there any?
Yes.
What?
You was gonna say? Is there any situation where they don't, or where they've had things where it's together and they're still idolized? where they didn't have to come with a story behind it.
Right.
Oh, I'm about to say, is there a time where Idol fell and it was painfully obvious they fell from grace and fell and just withered away? I was gonna say that Bishop Eddie Long guy.
Bishop Eddie Long, which would gets into the other side, which is how many of these pastors and reverends who are supposed to represent the people.
They represent their ministry, and then once they die or they're gone, the ministry is gone. People leave.
Yeah,
because people are starting to idolize.
They get the people that idolize the man, as opposed to giving the praise to God. Right. They idolize the man.
Which this is the thing about it. This is the thing about it, and I think we've discussed this before. We will idolize what we can see.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, I just seen an article, and it was talking about the current CEO of Apple. And there was somebody, and I don't know, somebody was just taking a shot at him. But they're like, Apple's they're going to have to worry because this new guy who's running Apple, he doesn't have any ideas. Is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So they continue to just do the same things over and over and over, which has been working for them, of course,
Mm-hmm.
But he's not Steve Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
So
he's not the visionary.
No, he's not the visionary. He's just building. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine, of course. But what's going to take him to the next level? Because all these other people now are caught up. Not caught up with Apple's done, but they now competing even more and more with products.
Yeah.
Even some of the models are kind of starting to look like them.
Look similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Don't idolize people. If you go to church, don't idolize your pastor, your elder, your bishop, your reverend, whatever you want to call yourself that day. Don't idolize him.
Because they have to do the same things we do.
They doing the same thing you do.
They gotta
get on their knees and pray just like you do. They go to work at 9 to 5 like you do, most of them anyway, until they get super big, and then people worship them. Don't worship them.
Basically, people start worshiping them because they're not paying attention to all the tithes that they were given was helping this person to be able to establish, to continue to build this church, per se, and then build this new mansion. He said, praise the Lord for that I built this new mansion. Praise the Lord that he was blessing me, that I made, and then you're looking around the congregation.
Everything becomes I, me, not we, us.
And for example, we go to the Preachers of LA, the one episode that I actually watched. And the guy had, he basically had the Banks residence. He had the mansion, and then he had a big enough little beach house in the back, so his mom could live there. And so I'm sitting up there like, maybe he has a good job, maybe he's working a job. No, he's a full-time pastor. Mm-hmm. So then he says, well, can't I enjoy life, this, that, and the other? Yeah, but do you need to enjoy it that much?
What Kyla say? Stay away from that.
Hey, look, the people co-signed it, and what I want to say is, be inspired by people. Don't idolize them. You can be inspired.
Inspiration is great.
Be you, man.
Yeah, be
wherever
inspired
you are. Be the best you can be.
Right.
Let good things around you inspire you, but don't idolize nobody.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you say on the one movie? Be you, man.
Kobe could never be Jordan. He wanted to be Jordan.
But he became Kobe.
He became Kobe.
Black
Right.
Mamba. That's who he became.
Right.
And became probably, in my eyes, a better shooter than Jordan ever was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
A better shooter. Like a better shot maker.
Right.
So yeah.
Be inspired. Don't idolize. That's the message for the day. We're gonna pass around the collection plate next week. Because I and me need this big old house and these nice luxury cars. Because that's who I am, Deacon Reverend Brother Brack.
I'm gonna
be loved.
Only thing I wanted to say off of that was my whole thing is, if you have that big house, right, and you might have people that are homeless in your congregation, why don't you allow them to stay there?
Well, I mean, I'd be leery about having strangers in my house, but I'd make sure they had somewhere to stay.
I'm talking about his beach house, though.
That's true. I don't have no beach house, man.
My whole thing is, I'm like, they don't have to stay there forever, but you to help them get on their feet.
Nah, because I've always been the type of person, like, if you need some help, if I can help you, I'm gonna help you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that goes to the person, because then once they get so big, then the ego comes into play, and then they want people to look at them like idols. They go, no, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have none of this. But let them people not call you Bishop so-and-so and just call you Eddie. I bet you get an attitude. Why? Because you want them to idolize you as Bishop so-and-so.
Exactly.
And not just that
it's
cat
not even
down
a
the street
respect thing.
named Eddie.
Yeah, it's not even a respect thing.
You look at yourself as wanting to be idolized.
And I've seen a lot of these different pastors that say, I've been pastoring for 35 years and this, that, and other. But still somebody had to speak to you so that the Lord would allow you to see the truth that you would come.
So you just still regular old Eddie.
We had to work hard.
Yeah, you get mad, right, when they don't give you that title. Now maybe
I bet you had to hold that rabbit just to make ends meet.
So the last I'll say this last thing. This is the last thing I'll say about this. So for these different pastors and stuff that have this money and they're doing great and stuff, when God speaks to them, if they can even hear him, when God speaks to them, does he call them Bishop such and such?
That's just old Eddie around the corner. Little old Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it real. Like, they need to think about stuff like that. And people that go to these different church, mosque, wherever you may go, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they just like you. They might be deeper in the word than you, right? Mm-hmm. But you'll be able to tell the authentic ones from the ones that just want to be idolized. Open your eyes, man. Open your ears and listen. It's there.
Listen.
Now, we ain't want to get that deep at the end, but it was necessary.
Now, if you work hard like me,
right,
you can have everything I have here today.
Right. now, dial the number at the bottom of the screen, and for $49.95, I will send you a personally anointed bottle, a Bible, and my 8 tapes. Because you know, back in the day, I got all my tapes, and my face is on the front of the tape, not the church, not my congregation, not a scripture. My face now is on my tape.
Now, for $49.95, you can get this oil that has been prayed over and consecrated over.
Came from the Holy Land of
the
Israel.
Holy Land, and it was come from holy olives, holy olives that were pressed.
And you're going to give the love offering to this beautiful edifice that you will never come to, because I'm on the other side of the country.
By the way,
but God will bless you for giving us this.
We will use this olive oil that we have pressed down, that has been holy, to rub over this jet that you have allowed me to have, so we can fly around and give the word to the world. But no, you can't be a part of that. No, you can't fly with me. This is only me and mine that I need to do the Lord's work with.
Now, total discretion, we all grow up in church. We've all grown up in church. So it might seem like jokes, but there's some truth behind these jokes. Just know that much. Trust me, we ain't just cracking on them and making fun of them just to pick with them.
Witch hazel.
Seen it firsthand. A lot of times.
Your mama's a witch hazel.
Right. But it's the EFG podcast. I am the one and only Teddy B. Love. To my right is my man,
Pastor Rockefeller. If you just give.
Pastor, give a nigga some money.
I just give a love seed offering. A seed. A morsel. Of $10.52.
I wonder if they write their own strip hustles too when they be trying to get money.
Man, that's on that teleprompter right there, bruh.
And to my left is the homeboy.
It's Nicholas Sage, man. You know how we do it. EFG, we all we got, man.
$10.52. The Lord said 52 cents.
Follow us on YouTube.
You give me any more, you'll be in
podcast.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
EFG podcast. Twitter, we EFG podcast 1.
Why you don't like him?
Instagram is EFG podcast. Yo, we gonna catch y'all next week.
Yo,
around the same time.
Idols are gonna fall, man. Don't follow the idols, man. I'm sorry.
What TDJ say? Giants.
Follow EFG. Don't follow anybody else.
The harder they fall.
Follow EFG. Don't follow anybody else. No other podcast.
Yo, we not idols.
We only got
EFG. We contradict all that. Follow EFG.
The thoughts and opinions of those of Hill and Hill only.
Until
next time, EFG. We all we got.
Peace.
Oh gosh.
We still alive, yeah.
Oh,
we
good
are.
Lord.
It's crazy.
Oh, this is the after show.
The after show.
After show. Who's online right now? What's up?
Ain't no preacher.
Crickets.
Crickets. So it's the after party and
After the party, it's a hotel lobby and
He said just a morsel.
just some more. So just
would you stop it and start it right back? Or it just cut like that?
It cut.
I'm sorry, I had to say, why you don't like him?
I was waiting on you to go, we all gonna go.
Nah. When I say why you don't like him, I'm like, there's gonna be the people that know. If I say will, then more people would know.
But nah, man, for real, like I've noticed that though. Like